And we're live. Welcome back, Northreach, to another episode of The Chopping Block. And if you're watching this today, let me be the first one to tell you congratulations, the world isn't over. Unless you're not watching this, then let me be the first to tell you congratulations, the world is over. And you're officially trapped in some sort of limbo where you're forced to do nothing but watch this all day. We're sorry. Legitimately.
No, we're not.
Okay, maybe we're not. Alright, so I'm your host, Hars, and as always with me is Vex.
Hey.
And with us today's guest is a Paragon Druid and the Monarch of Lupine Moon. Welcome, Paragon Abram.
That's me. What's up, guys?
How's it going, Abram?
It's going alright. Just getting this mumble thing to work is a little bit of a challenge. It's a meme in and of itself.
Bruh.
We were just having a discussion worthy of that segue.
Actually, yeah, I guess we could probably get that out of the way too, because I'd like to hear your input on this one, Abram.
Yes. Okay, what do you think about a Northreach Facebook thread that is a meme tournament with judges to decide the ultimate meme lord of Northreach?
And it also for hard mode, it can't be any pre-existing things like, haha, funny D&D story on Tumblr or anything like that. It has to be homebrewed by you.
I think that sounds glorious, but the part that makes me sad is I would probably end up, just like normal tournaments, I'll have to probably judge that the same way that I have to reeve actual tournaments.
You don't have to, but I mean...
You are
Who else
solid.
is qualified? Who else is so qualified? If there was Paragon Meme Lord, it would be your boy over here.
Yeah, I can't deny that.
But that kind of trash talk is why we need to make this thing happen, because are you?
No, see, this is what separates meme lords from meme connoisseurs, Abram, and I think you could definitely qualify for both being a meme lord and a connoisseur.
Well, we would know for sure with the tournament.
Yeah, that's true.
A memosaur.
Memosaur. I like it.
It's Rex.
Memosaurus Vex.
Memosaurus Vex. I love it. Oh, man. All right. Well, we actually ended up getting quite a bit of questions for you for today's episode, Abram. So I'll just apologize to the people watching in advance if we're not able to get into all of them, but we're gonna try and go through the big ones at least. So this first one we got is from Minibard, and that is, if you could change a rule, or a group of rules to make something possible in V8, what would it be?
Melee archetypes. Now, as a spellcaster myself, the reason why I love spellcasting is because of the archetypes of all the things. It allows you to be more effective and allows you to more personalize your class. And I think that it would allow a lot of the melee fighters, and I think it would compel a lot of people to maybe step further towards playing a melee class. Me and a friend were throwing around some ideas, and he gave us some pretty good ones. I really liked them. One of them, obviously, needs to be revised, but he was him and I were talking, and I think he called it the Berserker. So it's a barbarian one where basically you would lose. You couldn't wear any armor. You couldn't wield shields, and you couldn't throw rocks or javelins. I think you also lost Blood and Thunder. I can't remember. It took away a bunch of stuff, but you got fight after death per life. So, I mean, like that would make me want to play Barbarian of all things, because it sounds amazing, and lots of fun, and I think it would allow, like I said, I don't know, not a big deal, but I don't know if that really answers that question. But personally, I think melee archetypes would be a really cool thing to bring into our game to allow a more personal experience with the melee classes.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of talk about them introducing that in some sort of, I think it's going to be at one of the clan meetings or something. I don't remember who it was that told me about this, but either this coming one or the next one. I know I'm not sure if the rules are still in lockdown or anything for change, but that's kind of what happens when you step out of the loop for this kind of thing after a couple of months.
If you get... Oh, this question is from Minnie. If you get banned one day, what will it be for?
I've been thinking about this one all week, and I would probably say making a joke at the wrong time.
Oh.
Which also
Yeah.
brings me to that's probably how I'll die. You know, like, yeah, I know everybody's probably seen this picture, but it's like, you know, guy gets stabbed 17 times. Last words were, "What are you gonna do? Stab me?"
Yeah. In all
That
fairness,
sounds like me.
In all fairness, that's probably how I'm gonna go too.
Just inappropriately, like making a joke at an inappropriate time.
Death by smartass.
Guy pulls out gun. Finally, no. Yeah, probably just making a probably just making a joke at the wrong time. I've done so good so far. I've kept my jokes tastefully timed. But
You know,
now,
I'm just
but
gonna
one
take.
day,
I'm just gonna take your word for it. I'd rather not go in depth on this with the show because, you know, I feel like this episode might already get us on the skin of our teeth as it is. But
gets banned over this.
What are you gonna get banned for this show?
okay, I'm gonna space out the meme-related questions, and I'm gonna go to a more serious one from Oz, and that is, what is the most fun class combo without doubling up on the class?
I would say 2 druids because I don't live by your restraints.
Okay.
But if I was to pick a second best class combo, I would say healer and bard is pretty great for keeping your team up, as well as keeping things away from your team. Thank you, bards.
Mm-hmm.
They can be pretty devastating together, as far as keeping people alive and keeping them in the fight and making sure that the fight keeps going. You know, it's pretty brutal. I love druid, but druid's very much a solo class. You know, a bard coming by and giving me restoration isn't all that super for me. It's just like, okay, well, I guess I get my men's back, and thanks, friendo. But yeah, healer and wizard can do some pretty big damage when comboed with a bard.
Especially when like a wizard was to give a bard a void touch, then you basically got to create a killing machine that can recharge you indefinitely.
Correct. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. And I would also say that one of my favorite combos is a void touched assassin. They get the shadow step that becomes chargeable, and then they get like their poisons and stuff that when they kill somebody with it can instantly go over, steal life, recharge poison, cast it back up, hit somebody else, steal life, recharge poison. So wizard and assassins. But if I was to say melee for melee classes, I would pick. I'll just break down in 2 categories. Melee classes, we're gonna go scout and assassin. So they can do some tricky stuff, and I love it. Me and Akeem used to do some tricky stuff back in the day. Good times. And then I would say for magic classes, the unbeatable combo would probably be bard and scout. Or sorry, bard and healer.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So what I heard you saying is that druid is the ultimate brown edgelord.
Correct. We are solos. We are lone wolves.
The lone bears.
We are lone bears.
Lone bears. Well, I think I found our episode title. Good job, team.
You should make it barely postable.
Barely postable. Okay, there we go. I try to make like a tradition of whenever I come up with a name for the episode, I always make sure that I'm not the one that comes up with it, like that forces the title out. So yeah, barely postable works. Well, on that note, this next one is from Delhi.
Top 3 memers in Northreach, excluding yourself. This is another nice addition to the tournament discussion, I think. Who are the big competitors?
Yeah. So basically the people we kind of have to bar for the no professional rule.
If we're talking about like memes posted to their own page. So we're talking quantity. I would say Drasek is up there in quantity. Love you, Drasek, but I've seen some better quality memes. No hate, all love. Kruven's got some spicy memes. A lot of my memes that I see are mostly in person, so and I wish I could rank Deli in there, but he never posts memes. So right now we've got Drasek I'll name him the shitpost meme.
Oh.
And then we've got Kruven for the spicy memes. And then I think I'm gonna name Hars our unique meme because fish on a dish and Hars on cars were priceless.
Okay, that's fair. I don't know. I feel like mine would be more like you could just see past the layers of meta and just like you could just hear me screaming, "End my suffering, please."
Nope. You know what? I'm gonna kick Drasek off of here because I totally spaced it. I don't know how I spaced it. But the in life, I'm gonna name him the in life meme lord. Would be like IRL meme lord would be Hunter.
That's true. I didn't think of that.
He's so good. I love that guy. He's great.
Yeah.
If I could have two
awesome.
Hunters, we'd get everything done, and it'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have two Hunters, which would be even better.
Yeah. All right. So this next one we got is from Ray, and that is, what is one thing you really want for Northreach that we don't have yet, and how would you go about getting it? Hard mode, no memes.
So I thought a lot about this one, but unfortunately, this was the first question that I thought about. So all the other questions that I thought about just like overclouded that one, so I can't really think right now. But the one thing that I want for Northreach right now that sorry, can you say the question again?
All right, so the question was, what is one thing you really want for Northreach that we don't have yet, and how would you go about getting it?
I would say that the one thing that I want for Northreach that we don't have right now is loads and loads of money, just so we can do tons of fun stuff and do it, for minimal cost to our member. I think that would be awesome to have our events just be free for our members. That would be amazing. And I would say that the way that I would go out to get it would be to go ahead and go ahead with a 501c3. I think if we can make that happen, that would be a good step in the right direction for seeing that happen. As far as the leadership side of things go, I think that would be the one thing that I would choose. If I was to pick a field thing, once again, breaking this question apart into two, because I guess that's just what the theme tonight is. I would say that as far as the battlefield thing, I would like to see better fighting. As not to rip off of Mini there, but better fighting. When I find somebody who can consistently beat me, I like to fight them lots, because that means that I'm going to get better by continuously getting beat by them. Just this weekend out in Lupine Moon, I think we literally spent like half an hour just out on the field playing Win-Loss, which is a game we play where you fight the person single short sword, and it's just a field full of people. It's just like 1 versus 1. You fight the person in front of you. Whoever wins holds a W above their head. Whoever loses holds an L above their head, and then you go to a person with a matching symbol. If you Simo, you put your thumb to the side and you go to the nearest person to you. And I think it's a really great way because you'll get on kind of a lucky streak, and then you'll find eventually you'll get caught up and you'll get beat, and then Gorn, who's just permanently holding a W above his head. That's always fun. But it was lots of fun. It was, I looked around. I actually, I love my park, and I looked around after a little while. I was just kind of like, man, like, dude, this is Amtgard. Like, this is what I love about Amtgard, fighting. And
Mhm.
these are the people I love to do it with. So, fighting and money.
Yeah, those are the two codes of life to live by, I think. I don't know.
There's another F word in there, I think.
And boneless pizza.
Fun. Hars.
Whoa. Why's it gotta be boneless pizza?
Because I took all the bones out.
What kind of pizza you eating that has bones in it?
Barbecue chicken pizza.
I don't know what I was expecting, but you know. All right.
So, I'm actually really interested in this next question because I have not been able to attend Amtgard much at all within the past 2 months, I think. What are the largest struggles of Lupin Moon right now? From Delhi.
The perfect answer would be to say that we don't have any.
That's
But
not a perfect answer.
We don't live in a perfect world, so I would say that we've got some newer players who are choosing more towards the magic side, and so just teaching them as far as an on the field part of things go is a small bit of trouble. Nothing major. But as far as our biggest struggle goes, I feel like we just we don't have like the oomph, like on our field, the excitement on our field. It could be just because we're kind of getting towards winter. So I would say that our biggest struggle is excitement.
Winter is
our
coming.
members really want. Yes, Jack. Winter is coming.
Yeah, that usually is kind of the burnout session for this neck of the woods, I noticed.
Yeah, so I would say that probably member retention, our seasonal member retention is what I'll call it, is what's bumming us out. Kruben's been making tons of games, and I'm excited to see what he's got next. But as far as our current struggles go, that would be probably them.
Yeah, I'll admit I've been kind of like out of the going to Amtgard loop lately too. So, but with us going indoors, I do plan on actually making out a lot more often now. So I'm curious to see what he's gonna do once we're indoors now. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm stoked. Him and I are kind of keeping a thread open between us, trying to keep a line of communication so that we can make better games and keep things going.
So I heard better memes at first, and I kind of figured, yeah, that sounds about right.
Best memes.
So you draw new people in.
Yeah, cease the memes of production. All right.
Turn Lupin Moon into a meme factory.
Lupin meme, if you will.
Lupin meme, yes.
All right. So this next one we got is from Boot. As always, she asked how much, on the scale of 1 to 10, how much you love Boot. And also, what change, if any, would you like to see at your park? Provided you had a different one other than what we just talked about.
So I read her question and it said that she already knows that I love her a 10, which I regret to inform her that I only love Sierra a 10, or Dot if you guys don't know her. So that puts her at a solid 9.95. Hunter also landing in there at a 9.99. But yeah, Sierra's the only 10, so.
Damn. Hope you're feeling the love, Hunter.
The second part of her question, asking about what change I would like to see at my park, would be a...
Maybe get the dome back again?
the dome was good.
Or something better?
Yeah. Well, it was good, but then it collapsed. So, that obviously was bad.
Yep.
But the place we're at right now is really nice, and so I'm excited to see that. The one change to my park, I would say maybe... I hate to beat the horse here, but player retention keeping people around, and maybe that comes back to attitude, maybe that comes back to sportsmanship, maybe that comes back to getting together outside of Amtgard to kind of strengthen our Amtgard family. I don't know where the solution is, but I'm willing to try whatever it is to get there. And Lupin Moon, if you guys aren't listening in, stay tuned. Me and your top 5, we got some stuff planned coming up for just that, for outside of Amtgard stuff.
Aw, yeah. Alright, so I see we have another one that's from Delian. I always like it when we get these kinds of questions because I don't think we've ever gotten really the same answer twice. But he asks, how do you handle burnout, drama, and what's your greatest passion within Amtgard? I know we touched a bit on that, but just better to answer that as a whole.
So what really burns me out is being an officer. The last 2 times I was an officer, I was a field officer, which I think was my mistake. As I consider myself very field active. I love being out there and I love fighting, like I just said. And the way I beat my burnout is by fighting, is by having people over to my house on the weekends and, beating them up with sticks, or, Friday night, just hanging out, making personal connections that'll make me want to go there so I can see that person. I mean, just taking a step back a lot of times from having to do your job as the field officer. As far as being a monarch, I've actually enjoyed my time being in office, and it hasn't taken that big of a toll on me. Really. I've enjoyed being a monarch. I've enjoyed helping people out, what I have. But I would say, just getting out there and fighting. How I beat the drama by, I guess it's kind of situational, so it depends on what we're talking about. We're talking about drama. If it was something personal that we're talking about, I would go there and directly try to talk to them. If it was impersonal, it was about somebody else. If they didn't know about it, I would at least try to bring it to their attention and say, hey, this person's got some sort of grudge against you. Maybe you should talk to them and see what's going on. That way you guys can get it resolved. And memes. Yep.
Well, I mean, memes are the solution for everything, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just talking about it, talking it out, see what's going on, see how you guys can come to a solution to whatever the problem is.
Right.
Now I'm just imagining 2 angry amtgarders sort of facing away from each other, crossing their arms, and you approach with your hands as though you're making an offering between them, and you go, would a meme help here? And then it's just upbeat music, sun rises, and they're like, yeah!
Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do.
When the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars. Anybody?
That was a beautiful little moment we all just had there. Thank you both for sharing that with me.
Yay.
You're welcome.
All right.
What is the most incredible beast in all of Northreach's forests, asks Deli.
Also for our bodies of water.
Ooh.
So, what is the most incredible beast?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said something about bodies of water?
Yeah, both on land and sea, basically.
Okay. The answer is, only the druids can know, so keep your nose out of it.
Wow.
Tell us your dirty secrets.
You know, Vex, we were having a talk a while ago. Since you usually play Scout, I think you could learn it one day.
Oh, well, I was fired from the Scouts Guild, so
well,
there's that.
The druids will accept you.
Yeah, like we were having this talk forever ago about class Darwinism, how a lot of people who end up playing druids usually start off playing scouts.
Oh, I remember.
Abram's done it, Lucian's done it. And then we had a similar talk about how wizards usually start off playing assassins, how I've done it, Mara's done it, Hakim's done it, and even Freya's done it now.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, I haven't really seen any other kind of distinction with the other two classes, except for maybe like scouts that don't go on to play druid usually end up going on to healer, because that's what happened with Red in Frozen Coast, and also to an extent Lucian. Good
Seriously
for them.
though, if I was to answer Deli's question, I guess in a more serious capacity, all memes aside, I'd say werebears are pretty terrifying.
Werebear. They're bear.
Werebears.
Werebears.
4 points of ancestral. We're not talking. Like not great dragons, not like the leviathans that are in the water. We're talking like normal beasts that you could accidentally run into if you're hanging out with me in the forest. Would probably be a werebear.
Yeah.
This thing stand about 8 feet tall, like 800 pounds, pure angry grizzly. Grizzly human?
I
Bear
think.
Grylls?
All I think of is, you could probably just go to San Diego and get the same effect. Angry bears.
But yeah, I mean,
Ask your parents that one, kids.
but yeah, I would say that probably werebears are the most terrifying beasts in the land or sea because they can swim, and it's awful.
That's fair. I can accept that.
They're slightly more intimidating than the Y bears.
Boo!
This comes from Ray, and it's my favorite question. How many lows could a Rob Low rob if a Rob Low could rob lows? And I said it.
Wow, not
without
bad.
any problems.
Not bad, Vex. Good job.
Yay.
I'm gonna steal an answer from Gorn here and say, the sky's really the limit. Like, if they ask us, can we do it? The answer is yes.
Okay. See, I was actually prepared for this question. So here.
It's like the most political correct
We're not.
question answer.
Okay. I'm gonna take the politics out of this one, and I'm just gonna do a bit I had in prep for something like this. So how many lows could Rob Low rob if Rob Low could rob lows? Well, to answer that, we would have to measure it, as only we would know. When we ran through the test and found the results, we found a new rule of thumb, and that the rule is that Rob Low wouldn't rob lows because robbing lows is dumb. Right then. So.
I'm impressed.
Grazie. All right, so this one I actually saved for last because I feel like for as meme as we've gotten, I think we could also sort of come full circle and get a little more wholesome on this. And this one's from Dot, and that is, what is the most memorable moment at a Northreach event?
The most memorable moment at a Northreach event was probably the third Wolf's Cry. I went to. It was the Wolf's Cry, but we were out in the field, and it was the first time. We had the big castle, fresh, brand new, freshly painted, beautiful placards of everybody who helped pay for its heraldry on it. And that first siege was epic. People came crashing against the doors. There was spells flying everywhere. More arrows than you could count. It was great. It was beautiful. It was what Amtgard should be in an event. Then afterwards, we all went out, had fun. Sang and ate and drank into the night. And then we did some jugging. I mean, it felt like what an Amtgard event should be. And I'm saying this because I'm barring becoming a kingdom. Becoming a kingdom was absolutely phenomenal this last year. This last year's dungeon crawl, I think, like I said, will be the event, at least for our kingdom, that when we look back, like we'll remember. Obviously, we'll remember where we were because we were there, but we'll remember where we were when we found out that we were becoming a kingdom, and I think we'll all remember, the first night where we all got to hang out together, and it was just so much fun being there. We had people come down who hadn't, we had people come to the event who hadn't been to Amtgard in years. We had Korgoth come up from the Lower 48
That was
to
really
join
cool,
us.
yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. The tournaments were great. We had Sir Randall and Azrael Jade up here. The Queen of Dragonspine. I never really met anybody from Dragonspine. And I think the first 2 people I get to meet being so influential is pretty cool. Well, I say from Dragonspine, I mean from Dragonspine proper. Obviously, we were from Dragonspine, and we are now our own kingdom. But prior to that, I'd never met anybody from Dragonspine proper.
See, I'm actually kind of surprised you didn't answer with your getting your Druid Paragon.
Dot literally just said the same thing. She's sitting right next to me. She said the same thing. Getting my Paragon was really important to me. As a player. But you asked about what was the most memorable Northreach event, and so I had to look I feel like I looked a little bit bigger than myself, and it was more memorable to me to see us become a kingdom, because it was something that we had all been working so hard, to see the efforts that people had put in, the painstaking hours of doing what they were doing so that we could get to this point. And I think sharing that with everybody was pretty memorable. And then following that, where I talked about the second Wolf's Cry I was at being so big. I mean, it was so much fun, and there were so many people there. That's what really, really anchored me into Amtgard and made me decide that I wanted to be a part of this sport so much. It was like a year and a half or 2 years in, something like that. But, I mean, it was awesome. I absolutely loved it. And so as far as memorable, I would say that those two would be me and you getting our Paragons together.
Yeah, I'm gonna sound like a total selfish bastard in saying this, but yeah, that'd probably be my answer if I were in your position, because like that was an amazing day for both of us, really.
Yeah, it was really awesome, and I don't want to downplay it. Like I said, it was really important to me as my own player, like me as my own person. It was important, but as far as memorable, sharing it with everybody, it would probably have been, or actually, it is. I would say becoming a kingdom, and before that would have been the second Wolf's Cry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, that's fair. I'm kind of glad you didn't really go where I thought you were going with that at first, because I totally thought you were going with, the one story.
Which one story, Jack?
The one, when you were talking about, like, the castle, and the Wolf's Cry, and the arrows, and stuff.
Oh, you're talking about the really big arrow, Jack?
Yes, the really, really big arrow.
The B1 Lista.
God, I forgot about that.
Never forget it, Jack.
Yeah, never forgetty what turned my head into spaghetti. We got one from Minnie saying, top 5 memes of the past 12 calendar months.
Okay, so it's taken me a while to compile this list. Of all the questions that I thought about, this is the one I thought about the most. So, I would like to start out. The last calendar year, as many of you, it was before our time here today. 9/25/2016. So technically a year before. But there was a gorilla at Cincinnati Zoo. It was taken down. And it was so tragic.
Wasn't he shot by a toddler or something?
No, a toddler got in his thing and got wrongfully shot down by a policeman.
No.
The toddler fell into the toddler, he grabbed the sniper rifle. He did a front flip over the bars, 360'd, and he shot my boy Harambe. Harambe.
People say Harambe jokes have gotten old. I just tell them Harambe was no joke.
Okay, so that's gonna be our number 5.
Oh god, are we doing this like a whole David Letterman deal? Let's start building this up.
The second one is going to be just because of the amount of shade that it cast. We're gonna say the starter pack memes, because those were glorious.
Oh god, yes.
They were great. I love them. They're so good. and it'd be funny because you'd watch somebody post a starter pack, and then you'd watch the people who were offended by it post underneath it, and then they'd go and post their own starter packs, and the people who were offended by it posted beneath it, and it was beautiful. It's just so much shade.
Yeah, all these flavors, and they choose to be salty.
I love thinking that you have like multiple external hard drives that are all perfectly organized so that any meme you could possibly think of, just like, I got you, fam. And then you pull up this frickin', what's that movie? Minority Report.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Minority Report?
I think, yeah.
Was that it?
I think.
It sounds weird.
Oh.
I have a phone here with...
I was gonna say, yeah, you have a phone. Look that up.
Are you talking about the
Minority
one where,
Report. Yes.
My
so
cousins
I imagine...
get taken back over the
No,
taken back over the border.
Right? Sorry. So I'm imagining you, Abram, just someone's like, hey, have you heard of this meme? And you're just like, don't even say anything. You pull up your computer screen in front of your face, you wave your fingers around, all Minority Report and stuff, and it's like pulling up these like millions of files of memes that you have stashed away. Like every meme with an existence is under your fingertips, and you just tap one
memes.
and you lean back and just nod.
You see, I didn't come here to get called out like this, and I'm honestly feeling attacked.
Why? I love it. It's beautiful. It's a dream of mine.
Sweet dreams are made of memes. Who am I to hate the memes? Okay. You know, I'm gonna do like a side edit project of this, and like just every time we say I'm gonna like B-movie this and just say like every time we say meme, it's gonna get faster.
We should like just count the number of times we say the word meme in this.
You know, I'll probably do this just as a fun project after the chopping block's over and done with.
Okay. So I don't know if we can put this one in because it's pretty inappropriate. Meme number 3 for the calendar year is going to be Star Wars, and if I had to be more specific, I'd have to be the Senate, to be exact.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Now, are we talking just the Senate or just Palpatine in general?
Palpatine in general, but mainly that line. I really love that line. So there's the famous Gordon Ramsay where he grabs the 2 pieces of bread, puts the girl's face in between it, and says, "What are you?" And she says like a shit sandwich or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he does that, and then he goes, "What are you?" And then it goes to Palpatine's face, and it says, "The Senate."
That's great.
I just found one that says, when you're hitting it from behind and she turns around and moans, "In the name of the Galactic Senate of the Republic, you're under arrest, Chancellor." And it's got that flash of a hand about to smack the button, and the button says, "I am the Senate."
With Palpatine's face like cast off in the distance.
Oh god.
I love it. Number 2, it's gonna be a bit of a throwback, and I don't know how into this meme everybody got. But there was this super sexy Italian chef dude who was nicknamed Salt Bae, and for very good reasons. I'm bringing this back up because Destiny 2 decided that it would make a emote where your character grabs salt just like Salt Bae would, then sprinkles it, it's all glittery and shiny, and then in a fashion that he does, like spritzes a bit at the end. And it is like spritzes it a bit at the end. And it is so satisfying when you're playing Crucible to get like a team wipe, and then you sit there and you salt them, you season them. Like,
oh god!
Like if I was to say anything, Mike, I would say that that's a pretty crispy meme in and of itself.
Blimey.
Number one meme of the calendar year has to be, hands down, because of the popularity it's gained on our page. I know you've seen Elf on a Shelf, but have you seen Going on a Florin? Followed by the thread created by Hars and myself. I know you've seen Elf on a Shelf, but are you ready for fish on a dish? It's beautiful, and I love everybody for participating and using their own names. And we have proved that no one's name is untouchable. I thought my name was untouchable. Like Abram. What rhymes with Abram? Abram on a drum. Okay, that's good enough.
Abram on a
behind
drum.
it. Yep, there you go. And then we had Hadalin, and you said Hadalin Diriderin on a vitamin. And I was on lunch, and I just started dying when I read that.
First
And
of all,
my coworkers are like, "What's my coworkers are like, what's so funny?" And I'm like, "Oh, you wouldn't get it." And they're like, "Okay." I'm like, "Yeah, same. Have a good day. Bye."
First rule, Hadalin, assume you're never safe from me.
The only one I can think of is, for myself, is pretty inappropriate.
Yeah.
Vex on checks.
Vex on checks.
There we
exactly.
go. That's way different than what I had in mind. Yay!
Yeah, Vex. Sometimes I wonder which one of us is really the sick-minded one.
Oh. Yeah.
We should compare notes sometime. Anyway, yeah, I could definitely see why that would be your number one, though, because that really brought out the best in some people.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like German hot dogs. Those are the worst.
All right, that's it. Show's over. We're done. No, I'm just kidding. We do have, but that still leaves this last question from Minibard, and since we're kind of getting near the end, what question did you wish someone would have asked you for this episode?
See, the thing about knowledge is you can't know what you don't know. If I had anybody who'd asked me a question, I would say something maybe a bit more personal, I guess. Like, who is Abram? What makes Amtgard important to you?
Well then,
And I would say to the person who asked that question, what makes Amtgard important to me is the community. I know that if I really needed something, I could probably count on one of you guys to be there. At the very least, I know that people would try. I'll give a bit of a shout out to Richter here. I was thinking about getting into PC gaming. I mean, and this guy's been all over it. He's been like, "Hey, looking for discounts for me everywhere. Like, hey, I found a pretty nice case over here. Hey, I found a nice power supply. Pretty decently priced parts over here and over here." He's been keeping me kind of up to date. I see so many people here get jobs through Amtgard. People who use this to, actually better themselves in their lives and, make livelihoods by friendships that we make here. And, like I said, I think our community is really, in many ways unbeatable. I love you guys all.
Actually, Vex, didn't you get your job through Amtgard too?
Yeah, I did.
See? Yeah, it's great.
There you go. All right, so I guess we're kind of at the point in which Actually, wait, no, I did have one more question, and I can't believe
Damn it,
actually.
Hars.
I can't believe it
You
put me
gave
up
up
to
my
this
hopes.
point. I know, right? Don't worry, Vex. We'll get to you in a second. But so this last one we got is, and this actually was one started by you, actually, sort of unofficially, and that
It's
is
your fault.
and that is, where were you when we got started as a kingdom?
I was at home. I was playing some Overwatch, and I got the the official, boom, here we are. And I was just hanging out at my house, and I remember being I remember just feeling a sense of accomplishment and a sense of we had finally gotten to where we had been aiming, but also keeping in mind that we're still on the way to where we want to go. So it's only up from here. I was at my house playing video games with Sierra when I found out, and I was super stoked.
Pretty solid, I'd say. Okay, now we're at the part of the show that Vex always seems to get really excited about, which I guess you could kind of call the lightning round questions that we have, and that's just where I kind of let Vex go off her hinges and just kind of ask whatever she wants.
Yeah, it's just usually one or two.
Yeah, we have been
them
running.
all.
We have been running a little long on this episode, so probably might just keep it to that.
Right. So, Abram, who is your celebrity crush? Or crushes. Or squishes. Whichever.
I would say right now, my celebrity crush would have to be Jack Black.
Ooh.
Yeah, I get that.
Tenacious D is just too hard. I just can't stop.
I'd definitely say Jack Black would be my squish.
Yeah, I guess he'd be my squish. My crush would have to be Channing. Yep, the Tadester.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I feel like we should. I was gonna say, I feel like we should take some of the bigger ones off. You know, the obvious ones like no Johnny Depps, no Robert Downey Jr.'s, because you know those are throwaways at this point.
Okay, then Chris Hemsworth, whatever his name is, that plays Captain America.
Oh, Chris Evans.
Yeah, Chris Evans. That guy's pretty great.
That's fair. Yeah.
Not Chris Pratt, because he just broke up with his girlfriend who he was with for like ever, because he started being a
This
jerk.
is his wife, yeah.
And it proves that love
yeah,
is dead
right.
and we killed it.
Correct.
I was actually reading up on that. It was very interesting. It was another consequence of the evolution from Andy Dwyer to Star-Lord.
Yeah.
Yep.
R.I.P. Andy.
Rest
Can we get
in
like can
pepperoni.
we get some more of that Harambe track playing on here? Thank you.
All right. Question number 2. Let's go.
Do I have another question? I'll just go. What's your favorite snack?
My favorite snack would. You know what? I actually super love oranges, but I think I'll actually ask Sierra. Sierra, what's my? She said solidly the peanut butter and honey sandwiches.
Ooh.
Oh, that sounds good actually.
That's one of my favorites too. Let's see. what other
That's
questions?
right. One more time. Another thing she adds in is if you get paste picante salt, you get like medium, and you mix it with some cottage cheese, and you eat it. It's like you like one to one, like 1 part cottage cheese, 1 part salsa. Mix it up. It is so good.
That
So
sounds
good.
really good
I've
actually.
never had that. That sounds
It's awesome. Yep. You eat it with some tortilla chips. Shit is lit.
I eat cottage cheese with pineapples all the time.
Huh.
That doesn't sound bad.
It's amazing.
I know
Actually,
people eat fruit with pineapple a lot.
I was gonna say, I guess that kind of brings up another question. Abram, where do you stand on the pineapple on pizza debate?
The answer is this is America, and you should do what you feel is right.
Yay!
Right? If you want to kneel at a football game because people are saying pineapple doesn't belong on pizza, you kneel at that football game.
Oh my god. Can I say this probably is a good candidate for my favorite episode we've done so far? I don't know if that's a faux pas to say when you're hosting your own show, but this has been a ton of fun.
I don't have a favorite episode.
glad.
We've been having a really good run ever since Delhi.
That's true, yeah.
Like, Lucian was sort of our very first. We had a lot of technical issues, and we kind of working things out. And then Goran was very kind of like, I don't know.
Straight to the thing.
Yeah, there was not a lot of like shooting the shit, just like question, answer. And then we hit Delhi, and it was just like, whee! And I think that's exactly what you were going for, Hars.
Yeah, actually, this is pretty much what I was hoping for. So, Abram, it's because of them and because of you that we've been able to get to this level. So,
You
thank
precious,
you, Abram.
beautiful souls.
And you know what?
Said it's okay, you're welcome.
All right. Well, on that note, I think that is a perfect note to go on. So, I would like to personally say thank you all for watching this at home, and Abram, thank you so much for being on the show. This was a great time.
Hold on.
What's up?
I want to ask you guys a question.
All right.
Ooh.
Of all the things you guys could be choosing to do with your spare time, why would you choose to do this?
You know, that's a simple question with a kind of complicated answer. I wanted to do something like this for a while, where I would just be like talking with, some sort of co-host. Like, could have been Vex, could have been Ty, could have been like a bunch of different people I could have done this with. But of all the people I've talked to about this idea, Vex was the one that seemed to sort of gravitate towards this the most. And I've talked about this endlessly, how I'm like sick of people who run for the monarchy position just for like the sake of a vanity project. But coming off the heels of my term in office as a monarch, it's hard work. Okay, like it's really hard work, and depending on the time of the year, it can be a really stressful job that you don't even get paid for. But so every once in a while, I kind of think, So the reason I kind of came to the conclusion of like, interviewing the Kingdom top 5 and the Council of Crowns, like, you know what? These guys are working hard. Let's throw them a bone. In the meantime, we can, brush up our entertainment factor. It'll just be a good way to raise morale. It's a gay old time,
Yeah, so my answer is first, because Hars asked me, and it seemed like a ton of fun. I've never done anything like this before, and I knew that he was very into, podcasting, recording, big into voices. Seemed so much fun. And I was really excited and that he asked me to do it. And I also didn't have anything big going on otherwise, which kind of leads into the second part, which is I have been pretty inactive in Amtgard for quite a while. First when I was pregnant, and because of that I couldn't fight in the battle games, and that made me angry because all of my friends were out hitting each other and I wanted to hit them and get hit by them, and I couldn't. So I sort of avoided Amtgard for a while. And now things are so busy, especially throughout the summer. I haven't been able to go out regularly. And so I was very excited to be a part of something that was very regular and creative and might not necessarily entail me finding babysitters for my kids and then going out, gathering all my gear, and then going out for a couple hours and then coming back home. And it was just kind of a nice segue into learning the news and keeping on top of things and being involved in something without being too depressed about not being as active as I want to be right now. Which is going to change in the winter, it looks like. So that's exciting.
That's really awesome. I'll be happy to have you back.
Yay!
Well, I think this is a good note to go on. So
yeah.
Thank you guys for stopping in.
Hey, wait a second. Hold on. Abram, you're not stealing my job.
This has been the
thanks so much.
Show.
It's been so much fun. Welcome.
Everything you heard is literally translated growls and roars.
Barrington strikes again. All right. So, take 2 now. So, I think that's a good way to
stop it.
Abram. Oh god. All right,
everybody. So, thanks so much for stopping.
Abram,
This
I
has
swear
been
to
the
God. I swear to
Hars and Vex
Jesus,
show.
Abram.
And by
Okay.
Abram, Hars and Vex, I mean main dish Abram, side dish Hars, and other main dish Vex. Thanks for stopping in, guys.
All right, for real though, this has been an awesome episode, Abram. Thanks for being on our show today. This is a great time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right.
And I have learned that drinking an energy drink before the show is a very good idea.
Yes, Vex, continue doing that. This is
boneless pizza.
All right.
That better make the last cut.
All right. So thank you all for watching. Tune in next episode where we'll be interviewing the Kingdom Champion, Grim. And until then, I'm Hars, this is Vex, and you've been watching The Chopping Block. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.